I welcome Team S10 onto the stage.
Hello Dad, I won a prize in photography competition.
Oh, so this is why your grades have been dropping. Here I am, working very hard, pouring money into your education, and you can't even pass your exams. You think it is that easy to get a good seat in an engineering college?
But Dad, I think I like photography better. Why can't I choose it as my career?
How many times should I tell you this, Meghana? Photography won't pay your bills, but engineering degree will. Another time you mention this to me, I'll take away your camera.
I'm gonna go to IIT Delhi anyway.
My parents are also insisting me to take it.
Engineering sounds like the right path to choose. Why don't I pursue it?
Hey, are we watching Money Heist on Netflix right now?
No, we are witnessing something far more sinister, lurking in the shadows of every household. The greatest heist of all.
What's that?
The heist of the mind. Like Meghana, many young minds are being conditioned to fit in the society's standards of success. Conditioning refers to a behavioral process whereby a response becomes more frequent in a given environment as a result of repetitive reinforcement and punishment. Conditioning operates by activating reward and punishment centers in the brain.
Reward centers are activated in the limbic system by repetitive stimulus like affection, guilt, awards, acknowledgement or appreciation. Students excel in their academics. This leads to stimulation of the pleasure pathway, causing a dopamine surge, thereby making them repeat their actions.
Activation of punishments, on the other hand, occurs by lack of acknowledgement, parental and societal disapproval, and outright discouragement. Consequently, reducing the likelihood of that behavior to occur again in the future.
Conditioning could be a knight in shining armor, as it is the primary tool used in shaping of character. In fact, this practice is not limited to India alone, but dates back to the very beginning of survival and parenting. So when does it become problematic then?
When there is a recurring pattern of imbalance between expectations from external factors and personal interests. This is typically seen during career identity development among adolescents.
What does our research suggest? In this retrospective study, 386 undergraduates of age 18 to 24 were asked to answer a self-made questionnaire and a perceived academic stress scale to help us assess the effect of conditioning on career choice. Through our study, we could say that 59.5% of parents were frequently asking the children to choose a conventional career, while 26.4% of students said that parents were the second major factor for them to choose this career only after personal interest.
60.6% students do not believe that their parents would have approved of an unconventional career choice. 64.6% students have voted affirmatively to have participated in discussions with their peers regarding unconventional career choices, while 23.8% have valued their opinions.
It is quite evident from the numbers that parents are the major factor contributing to conditioning.
So, what happens if we are conditioned?
Conditioning leads to loss of individuality and an inability to pursue a road less taken. It suppresses the creative mind and paves way to academic stress. Academic stress is defined as the body's response to academic-related demands that exceed the adaptive capabilities of students. This detrimental situation has a myriad of consequences ranging from something as simple as irritability to even suicide. Ironically, it's seldom taken seriously as it is very prevalent in our day-to-day lives.
But what causes academic stress exactly?
Pre-existing research suggests that it can be caused due to increased workload, poor time management, strict deadlines, lack of interest, and most importantly, parental pressure and examinations. Media narratives can also cause stress.
dozing off in lectures. This has shown to express the academic performance of a student and is an indication of borderline dysfunctional lifestyle.
Students experiencing high academic stress are more prone to conditions such as insomnia, anxiety, depression, and suicidal behaviors. According to National Crime Records Bureau, one student every 42 minutes commits suicide due to examination pressure and mental stress. There was a rise of 21% in the suicide rate since 2019. Some losses can never be compensated for.
The second part of our study consisted of a perceived academic stress scale that took into account stress and its potential causes among undergraduates at different junctures of their academic life, namely the preparatory phase and the undergraduate phase.
The results of which are as follows. 28.2% students have gone to coaching classes before intermediate. Moreover, the same population coincided with those who were unhappy with their career choices. 44% of students say that this academic stress definitely affects their interpersonal relationships, while more than 50% of students say that this academic stress is due to unrealistic expectations from parents and teachers, with no significant difference being between the preparatory phase and UG phase students.
This solidifies our notion that substantial conditioning is a major contributor to academic stress among undergraduates.
So who's the real puppeteer?
Isn't it the parents?
No, despite the results of our research, it is important to acknowledge that parents are not the real culprits here. Parents themselves are victims to this millennia-long process and should not be villainized or ostracized. Conditioning may be rooted in the positive intentions to build a just and successful society, but it has snowballed itself into an imperceivable evil.
How does one solve a problem with no traceable origin? While this seems to be an unsolvable puzzle, one must remember to look for the missing pieces. The first most missing piece being forgetting to prioritize our opinion. Discovering one's true interest and gauging its longevity is the most fundamental step to avoid the disastrous consequences that follow a spineless decision.
Awareness must be created among parents to view conditioning as a transitory step rather than a lifestyle practice.
Taking career counseling more seriously and reaching to an aptitude-based career identity will benefit both students and the workforce.
What happens when you realize you have been conditioned, but you've already taken a career? Is all lost?
No, there is light at the end of the tunnel, even for us undergraduates.
Realizing that opinions only matter so much can tremendously help with the pressure that comes along with examinations.
Horizontal integration between the subject of interest and academic could be done with what you might initially dislike.
Yoga, meditation, and personalized coping mechanisms such as journaling and music engagement are proven stress busters.
Art therapy using colors and paints to express one's emotions is a healthy alternative.
For Meghana, photography was not just an alternative field of interest, but a coping mechanism to overcome her academic stress. Imagine taking away something as integral as this from one's life. This is worse than a robbery.
So is this the future we envision for ourselves and our posterity? A factory mass producing robots by killing their dreams and handing out degrees. For students like Meghana, this choice was shoved down their throat by their parents and teachers, while their friends tied their hands to their backs and everyone else watched in silence.
This is not the first time we have heard of this. It has been addressed in movies, media, countless amount of times. However, things are still not looking up. The gaps between parents, teachers and students is only ever increasing with their inability to understand one another.
Voices are being stifled for the sake of being one with the society. Let's not be part of this horrible, horrible dehumanizing practice. We deserve better than this. Let's embrace our autonomy.
Thank you, team. That was an excellent performance. I request our panel of judges to go ahead with the Q&A session, and I would also like to.
Thank you. Thank you for the question, sir. But we are focusing more on operant conditioning because once parents appreciate somewhat their children, the children feel good, and this is a consequence of their behavior. So they wish to do more of this. However, if parents will punish them, they'll feel bad about it and they'll not repeat the behavior again. So we're focusing more on operant.
Congratulations to the team. It was indeed a wonderful performance. I really appreciate it and the crowd loved it as well.
Thank you, sir.
I have a small question and a comment to make. One of my questions is, in your selection criteria, the inclusion or the exclusion criteria, you have not made any mention of any students pursuing any of the interventions which you have told, like gymming, yoga, or anything. Did you use it to assess whether it has reduced the stress or not?
So, sir, we didn't, thank you for your question, sir. We haven't included a specific inclusion criteria for this because we wanted to see a cross-sectional study among all courses. But we have internally done a comparison between unconventional career choices and scientific or conventional career choices. And there has been more stress reported in the conventional career choices, which is what we are focusing on. Thank you, sir.
I just have one more comment to make. Because you have done such a wonderful study, generally if you put the objectives of the study, when you present the results and the conclusion, it has to be a direct answer of that question which you have put in the objectives. So I think just need to do that right before you publish this. Congratulations on a wonderful study.
Thank you so much.
It's a wonderful presentation, and in continuation with the same, how many have responded positively to the preventive measures? Is there any?
So, sir, this was a single-blinded study. We have not mentioned what we are using their information for, so that their answers would be more honest. So, we haven't really conducted any seminar or given them solutions as such. We have only taken the information that we needed from them.
They applied any of these?
So, yes.
When they were using these?
So, among ourselves and generally what we hear, one of the studies that we have seen, academic stress is tackled by this. According to a study done in Columbia University by L. Hermanson, he talks about how primary groups influence a person's career choice and the academic stress that is caused by it. And he has also given some solutions. That was a study done in Canada, sir, on a specific group of college students. Thank you, sir.
Did you just say that you did tell the students why you were collecting the data?
Yes, sir. It was a single-blinded study.
That might not be ethically acceptable.
We have taken their consent in order to publish the results.
That is not an informed consent, right?
Yes, sir. We actually didn't want them to know of the conditioning aspect of it because there can be personal bias, whether they believe that they are conditioned or not. So there are no questions indicating the word conditioning, but we wanted to see their influence based on that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much and congratulations for a wonderful performance.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
It's time for audience questions. Those who have a want to ask question, please raise your hand.
First of all, I'd like to say that your presentation was amazing.
Thank you.
And second of all, my question is, you said that people with conventional career choices face more stress. But people who take unconventional career choices also face stress, but in different contexts. So did you measure that? Did you include that when you were taking the data? That's my question.
Thank you for your question. I would like to answer that. Basically, our study is establishing a relationship between conditioning and academic stress. We have not separately seen what kind of stress it causes. We have only limited it to academic stress. So to eliminate the stress caused by exams, we have conducted a retrospective study. Other than that, we have not specifically mentioned what kind of stress it is, because in the end we want to focus on how to deal with the stress. Thank you.
Any more questions from the audience?
It was really a good presentation. My question is, in this vicious cycle of stress, when you compare the developed countries and developing countries, which have more good outcome, and what is the difference which makes them to have a good outcome?
So ours was mostly, the survey was based on, thank you for your question, the survey was based on Indian students. When we have looked at the specific course of the student, based on that there is changes in stress. But when it comes to urban and rural, India is 70% a rural nation. So in rural lifestyle, there is generally less stress compared to urban lifestyles. So based on that, I would like to assert that yes, in Western countries there is more stress compared to Indian countries, but the parental pressure and conditioning is more in rural societies or India. Thank you. Thank you very much.